Hello, welcome back to my Tour Divide daily coverage. This is day 4. Let's get over to track leaders and see what's been happening. And we've had a little bit of a regrouping at the front. If you recall the last few days, Justine Slovakia has been forging ahead of Ulrich Bartholomew and Laurens ten Dam. But it looks like they've all ended up staying in pretty much the same place. So currently it's, I think it's about 1 a.m., just past 1 a.m. local time, and they've all taken shelter in Elkhorn Springs. And this is an area, there's not an awful lot of options for sleeping in. You can see Mike Hall's record here. He stayed in, I think it's Montana High Country Lodge, which is no longer operating as a lodge, or certainly no longer as friendly to Tour Divide cyclists as it used to be. So they're all pretty much in the same place, all pretty much on record pace. And further down the road, as you know, there's been some pretty bad weather over the last couple of days. There's a couple of high ground sections, and most of the riders have sensibly decided to stop in the bigger towns and find sort of accommodation rather than risk camping out. So you can see in Butte, and we have our women's leader Megan Hakkinen, Jimmy Ashby from Australia, and Thomas Fabian, and they've all sort of sheltered in Butte for the evening. Megan was actually riding ahead of Lael Wilcox's women's record, but she's now slipped back a little bit, I guess, due to stopping early. But as we'll see in a while, I've got some social media showing some of the conditions up there, and it's not the kind of conditions you want to be out camping in. And then a little further back, we've got, I don't know why track leaders has been a little bit glitchy today. We've got another group with, where are they? Just here. So Anna Jager, our second place women's rider, Kate Richenberger and Aidan Lamper, they're all sheltering together. It looks like where are they? They're in Basin. So there's not an awful lot in Basin. That is where our men's leader or overall leader Justinus sheltered last night. I've got a little message from him I'll play in a second. So you can see we're getting quite a good sort of spread of riders now, and the race is really starting to take shape. So it looks like at the moment Megan seems to have pushed ahead in the women's race. She's got a good chunk of a lead now. Between Basin and Butte, it's not the hardest terrain, but it's a good few hours, 2-3 hours probably. But that is nothing in Tour Divide terms. But at the moment, she looks like she's forging a good gap, and yeah, it's going to get exciting in the men's race. So let's have a look at the race flow, and see what's going on there. While that loads up, I'll just shout out Redshift. Obviously, they're sponsoring all my videos, as you know by now. They do these cool little pedals, which you might not know about, the arc light pedals, and basically they've got a light inside the actual pedal body, which is obviously makes a lot of sense. I don't know why more people don't do that, to be honest. And if you flip them around, they go from red to white. So I've got these on my sort of town bike. It means you've always got lights on your bike, and they're really, really good quality, really cool. So yeah, check those guys out, redshiftsports.com, and I've got a discount in the comments, in the description if you were after something. So yeah, have a look. And then here we go, back to the coverage. So here's the race flow, and you can see that Justinus got in, he stopped quite early, about 9:30. Bearing in mind, he's not really fully stopped that much compared to Laurens and Justine and Uber. Looks like Uber got in about 2 hours later, and then Laurens probably 3 or 4 hours later than that. So it looks all even at the moment. This is going to be a getting up in the morning competition now. I suspect Justinus will start early. I wouldn't be surprised if Ulrich just cuts his sleep a little bit, has a short nap, and just gets himself back on the same schedule as Justinus. And I suspect Laurens might just have a slightly bigger sleep, given that he technically he's showing us in the lead at the moment, but in reality he's probably still kind of in the same position. It depends if he wants to cut sleep or not. Although I've had a few people message me saying that he's not really interested in cutting the sleep too much. He wants to sleep a lot and learn the route, and this is kind of a learning experience for him. So I suspect he might just do his standard sleep. And in the morning, we'll see Justinus and Ulrich probably going head to head. I would not be surprised if Ulrich does a short sleep before it kicks off. Great to see that Megan is actually in fourth. Megan and Anna both in the top 10. Both like really pushing it up with the guys. So it's really great to see, and just goes to show that actually women can compete at the highest level in the sport, and they are doing so again. Now I've got quite a few messages and things from riders now. Obviously, the sort of the excitement of the first few days has died down, so they're starting to spend a little bit more time on their phones, which is good for us when we're watching. And I'm going to start with Justinus. So he sent me this message from the post office in Basin. So let's just show you on Rub GPS. Basin is a very, very small town. Just before Butte, here we go, just here. So there's not an awful lot around there, and then you kind of loop around in the hills a bit and drop into Butte. So he got over Lava Mountain, which is this section here. We'll see some more on that as well. It looked like there was some snow up there. That's when the weather started to come in for the leaders. Obviously the mid-pack, they're getting it bad all the way down. This big winter storm has really been hitting a good chunk of the race, and I think you'll see that, you know, a lot of people are clumped together in groups, you know, similar to our leaders, just staying in all the shelter they can. But the leaders probably got away with the worst of the storm. But yeah, the mid pack looks like they're suffering. So this is Justinus. Would have been yesterday morning, calling in from here in Basin. So I'll just run the message and hear what Justinus has to say.
It wasn't so bad, man. The thing that is way worse is that I'm a bit sick. That's not a surprise. I don't know. I think I got it from Uber. We shared the room on the first night, and ever since I had a sore throat and run nose and shit. But coughing a bit, but everything's okay. I've been sleeping quite a lot. Probably it's not shown on the tracker because it's like hour there or there. At the moment I'm in the post office in Basin, on the other side of the lava. Man, that mountain, what the fuck. Took me forever to get over it. But I think now I'm gonna go to Butte and see. Maybe I'm gonna get a room there. But it starts snowing on the top, and I think they'll get to go through some shit. So yeah, better they be fresh because it's not gonna be easy for them.
So there we go. That was Justinus telling us he's actually slept quite a lot. He's had at least an hour here or there for the last few days. So yeah, I don't know what his definition of not sleeping very much is in that case. So that was yesterday morning, and then I got another little update from him later in the evening, which I shall run now. This was a video one, so a little bit better.
It looks like I'm opening this section. It stopped kind of snowing, raining, and now sun's coming out, so it should dry out. Because now it's very soggy. And nobody's coming behind me, so if the weather gonna progress to the better, you might not struggle at all.
So that looks like it was most likely on the run up. Once you're out of Butte on the way up to Fleecer Ridge, you're on these big sort of forest roads. So where are we? Fleecer Ridge, Butte, probably in this section here somewhere. So as Justinus was saying, like the ground conditions, despite the weather and the snow, they don't look that bad. They look a bit soggy and slow, as Justinus was saying. But the storms, they don't seem to be, certainly where the leaders are, really dumping snow. It's more kind of wet snow that's kind of settling around and then kind of melting off the tracks itself. And they wouldn't be up with Mike's record if it was really, really dumping. So it could be worse, I think. I think it's just grim and wet and horrible, and just trying to keep warm is the main problem. But I suspect that was around here somewhere. And if we look back to yesterday, then, you know, Uber was chasing Justinus down, and it gets in your head a bit. If you're rolling slowly and you know it's going to dry out, you always have that question: is someone going to get a dry section and close that time and make it easier for them? It works both ways. So you know, it's just a mind game when you're a rider, and you're out there alone. But Justinus will be thinking about Uber and Lawrence the whole time, without a doubt. On that kind of theme. Just looking at Marie Soleil Blaise, she's third in the women's race. She's a bit further down the field at the moment, but she sent me an audio update as well. you can see here, this is this probably is further down a couple of days back. I think it's probably like Whitefish Divide around that area. So yeah, it's you can see Richmond Peak by the looks of it. Let's put some sound on, if I can find the button. Oh, there's no sound on this one. So yeah, she's that's the kind of conditions. And as I was saying, it looks like the tracks itself are staying quite clear, but the snow is falling and it's just settling on everything. So let's hear what Marie said about the first few days of her race. She sent me a voice message, and we'll give it a listen now.
Hey Josh, good morning. A little update. It's been a slow start to this year's Tour Divide, a cold start. On the first day, I think I don't know if I caught a bug or something. I felt like really low energy, and that was okay. And then I lost a lot of time, and the first bit is a bit technical for me, at least. And so I knew I was gonna lose some time. And what happened is that the weather kind of changed. Like from the next day, the two girls that had Megan and Anna were able to do the first two mountains before the rain started. And so when I got there, it was like a big mud fest, and then the bike was not working well, and we had to do the wall and that crazy snowstorm, and then on that climb.
So yeah, that was Marie, and again, similar to what Justinas was saying, Anna and Megan got ahead of got over a climb before the weather came in, so they got it in dry conditions, and then she obviously didn't get there before the rain, and then it made it a whole lot worse. So it made her even slower, and the gap just goes, and that's kind of how it goes sometimes in these races. But she's doing well, and yeah, still rolling along. So I was trying to find a bit about Thomas Fabian. So he's from the Czech Republic. He's won a lot of races in the Czech Republic, sort of 1,000-mile races and things like that. But he's not done an awful lot outside of the Czech. So this is one of his first kind of forays into sort of international racing. And here we go. Here he is. You can see the kind of conditions, wet snow, just probably the worst, to be honest. Crappy, muddy conditions, using facilities. So yeah, hoods up, definitely hoods up weather at the moment. And I think a hooded jacket on Tour Divide is absolutely essential for days like this. Let's have a little look at Ulrich on his Instagram, and let's see what he has to say. He's done a few updates from the last couple of days. So yeah, let's have a listen.
So day 4, every day has a new surprise. Today it's the winter storm that currently hit Montana. So I was riding in the snow this morning, and pretty tough, but now it's at least dry for a couple of minutes or something. Time to enjoy. It's a good day out on the bike, no?
So yeah, sounds like they're all suffering. Again, it's not necessarily the ground conditions, but it's just being out in the cold and exposed all day, every day. This is top of Fleecer
Ridge. No, I didn't think that it could be harder than last year, but it is. But it's beautiful.
So Fleecer Ridge in the snow. You're gonna have to push up that without a doubt. It's a tough ride in the dry. So yeah, it's going to be hard to get up there, and descending Fleecer Ridge as well. It's very steep. I've got a video. Let me just show you. This is from 2019. I shot it myself. As you can see, my video wasn't great, but then you can see basically you've got this big drop down. You can see the valley you go down. If it looks steep on camera, then it's really steep in real life. That was Nate Gimson. He was riding it. You can ride it, but you're right over the back of the saddle, and you wouldn't want to be doing it on a drop bar bike like Ulrich's riding, and certainly in the snow. I think you want to walk that. You wouldn't be stopping very quickly if you tried to descend it in the snow. That's for sure. And there we go. You can see he's at the bottom of it. Again, not really settled too much on the actual tracks, but yeah, it's enough to make it grim. And yeah, hardest day I've ever had on a bike. So they're all suffering out there. And we know Ulrich was ill a couple of days back. We know Justinas is a bit ill. Marie said she's been a bit ill. These conditions are really going to take the toll on the body. So these riders just want to be getting south as soon as they can, just to kind of just get some warm air again. I've also found JP Taveri. Obviously, he's one of the Tour Divide legends. He's out on course and he's recorded some of the leaders. So this is really cool to see. So cheers for sharing this, Jay. Let's just play them and see who is found.
LTD.
So this is Lawrence Ten Dam. I think this was just before Lincoln a day or so ago.
Nice to see you.
Oh,
How's it going, Lauren?
I'm tired. Really tired.
You mind if I record you?
You're Jay?
I'm Jay.
You know, I saw your movie. Just eating fish and peanut butter.
How you doing?
I'm tired.
How
You know, like, I don't know the route, you know, I underestimated a little bit the last part, to be honest. You know, like yesterday was pretty easy for me. And I was like, okay, let's do 50 more, because yesterday.
So yeah, sounds pretty pretty tough out there for Lawrence. You know, this is a guy who's finished Tour de France a number of times, was pro for many years, and he's suffering on the Tour Divide. So yeah, it's good to see in some respects.
Hello.
Goodbye.
There's Ulrich. So yeah, this would have been last night. Eddie Clark, obviously, if you've seen any photos of the Tour Divide, Eddie was most likely the one that took them. And you can see, you know, conditions. This was Thomas, and you can see light snow again, just enough just to make it uncomfortable. So these guys are doing great. That's Jimmy Ashby. And Megan Hakkinen as well. So great to see that you found Megan.
How are you?
It's JP. This is so exciting.
And you can see the conditions as well. Just sticky, slow going. This looks like it's probably before, a little bit over, I think, from Lincoln. But yeah, that's Jay. So cheers, Jay, for sending that over. And there's some more updates from Megan. So there was some sunshine. I know we've been talking about rain the whole time, but it was actually quite sunny. This is Richmond Peak. I've done it once like this. I've also done it when you've had to hike along that sheer drop, and it's pretty scary because of the snow. Yeah, if you slip, you're going a long way down. So yeah, it looks like she's having a good time still. She's smiling and totally smashing it, which is great. And finally, I just wanted to finish with Marku Lepala. So he's further down the pack and obviously sharing all the storm warning stuff. And you can see the ground conditions just wet, but this was pretty cool. So a guy, Max, was kind enough to invite a load of riders in so they could shelter from the storm. So all the riders are now sat in his house, eating food, drying out kit. And yeah, this is just someone who lives there, and he's invited everyone in. And yeah, really cool to see. And, you know, that's kind of the Tour Divide and the spirit of the Divide out there. So yeah, that's pretty much all I've got for today. There's quite a lot going on, so the reports are probably going to get a bit longer now. So again, if you know anything and you know anyone out there, drop me a line, share some stuff, and I'll try and cover as much as I can. So it's going to be interesting to see how the race develops again in the morning. We've got a race on our hands still, and hopefully they're going to get out of the weather now. So let's see how things go, and I'll catch you again tomorrow. Thanks for watching.